営業開始だ。
美しき町横浜で産声を上げてうん十年。目まぐるしく変化する時代の中、私たちが決して変えなかったもの、それはこだわり抜いたせんべいの味とお客様を大切に思う気持ちです。あなたの笑顔を作る企業でありたい。笑顔が一番。私たちは一番ホールディングスです。
もう止められないぜ。上がるぜ。おいおい、ゴーゴー。生まれ変わる結ばなきゃ。Let's fly high like a butterfly。
欲に溺れ罠にはまり、手足からむ罪の糸。
絡みつくかい。
金魚すくいの網のように、脆い羽は涙の雫で破れてゆく。癒しとくぐもに
羽のない蝶なんて意味ない。血を這うネズミと変わりない。
心まで侵されて、今さら穴だらけの羽で悔やむの。できることならもう一度この角刻みつけ飛びたいの。悲しきバタフライ、その見照らす一筋の光、妬み空を睨む。So fly high again, like a butterfly。 大空を舞う蝶のように。
Fly like a beautiful butterfly. Fly like a beautiful butterfly.
Buonasera carissimi, buonasera e bentornati sul canale, bentornati su Slade Princess, che giustamente io ho fatto partire il bot, ho fatto partire OBS, ho fatto partire tutto, ma giustamente mi sono dimenticato di far partire il gioco, perché giusto, noi cosa siamo qua a fare, no? Guardarci negli occhi per 3 ore, giustamente. Ok, eccoci qua, vai. Perfetto. Allora, siamo arrivati a un nuovo inizio. Bisogna capire un attimo che cosa fare. Quello che devi fare. Che personalità avremo adesso?
The daughter, her voice.
Who's there?
Di nuovo.
Good. You're still listening to reason.
Buonasera, amore, buonasera.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands. Oh, you have to be kidding me.
Cioè?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful.
I'll be.
Your shouts and plead. You're here to slay the princess. You try the door. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here. You make your way. Against your... No, we won't have it. Stop that. Thank you. If that's what... You take...
Qui c'era The Tower, vero? Che l'altra volta l'avevamo seccata, adesso dobbiamo provare
Making your way
a
down.
soccombere invece.
The blade slips from your fingers. We didn't have to do that. And yet you did. She's so much more than us. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd be... On her command, you fall to the floor, knees painfully connecting with heart.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death? Speak.
The last time we met, nobody should have met her before this.
E invece narratore,
You should be the
invece.
first. You're the only one I'd trust to deal with her.
Then you shouldn't have trusted us. There was nothing we could do to stop her then. And there's nothing we can do to stop her now.
He's being melodramatic, but yeah, we've been here before, and she absolutely destroyed us. What are we even supposed to do to stop her? That's worrying. Whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. It's best not to give her any idea.
Do you think holding shut your beak is enough to stop me from prying it open?
Can she do that?
There's nothing she can't do.
Meekness, despair, but a hint of something more. A small taste of stubborn resistance. A grain in the storm of my cosmic wind. Enough to be felt, but not enough to matter. And there it is. Something about that thought wraps itself around my heart.
Okay.
It feels like a fundamental truth to my being that I'd somehow forgotten. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world, it's time for me to seize my destiny. And you, little bird.
She's inevitable. There's nothing else for us to do but...
No. Know the limits of your privilege, little bird.
Don't be rude.
This... Your will was so easily broken.
No, è che sto semplicemente esplorando, Princess, non ti preoccupare.
All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her. Not when the stakes are so high. Not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you, where it is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about? I'm just...
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
Quella?
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? All we have is a blade. All you need to do is believe it's been done.
Ok.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave. Nothing, and then everything.
Ok, perfetto, abbiamo consegnato anche The Tower.
She's gone.
There's a world. It doesn't matter if there are. People are frail and impermanent. This one is dominance, a figure capable of bending everything to her. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you. No, the point. Do not look. One. These gifts. The next.
Ok.
You may. You take her voice.
Who's there?
She's good. You're still listening to reason.
Che strada non abbiamo provato qui?
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it?
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the... Don't you dare. It's fine. We can just... The blade tumbles out of your trembling...
And yet you hesitated the moment.
You...
Too long. Do you? I see. The silent treatment. You know, if you don't share with me. Oh.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw.
Ok.
It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around. You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the... Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job.
Ok.
The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark.
The Adversary. The Adversary è nuovo? O sbaglio?
You're on a path in the woods. And at the end of that path is you're here to slay her. A warning. She will lie. Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie. Are you sure about that? The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever. Are we clear?
Crystal, let's just get on with it already.
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You take the blade from the altar. The door to the basement creaks open. Her fierce voice
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces. You look exactly the same.
All right, fine. If you're not going to address it, I will. What? You've already met the princess. The princess has already met you. The two of you killed each other. Did you think you'd be able to just openly talk about all that without me noticing?
Tranquillo, narratore, cazzo me ne frega.
You did seem to just gloss over the whole thing for a while. Of course I glossed over it. When a colleague says something insane, glossing over it is one of the best ways to stay focused and keep moving forward. But enough is enough. I believe you. And that's all the more reason to take this seriously. You don't know that whatever brought the two of you back to life isn't a fluke. And beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember. Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die.
Vero anche questo.
I know. You and the princess have been talking about it. You don't have to be so snarky.
Oh, I remember you all right. Best 3 minutes of my life. So, why don't we do it again?
See? She wants to fight us again. There's no reason for us to stand around talking.
What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There. Unpacking done.
Non del tutto sbagliato.
You get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Vai.
Finally ready to complete your destined task, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement and catapult yourself headlong towards the princess. Here we go. Let's make this count.
Oh, we'll make it count, all right.
As you bridge the gap, your blade slashes across the princess's chest, splitting skin and drawing a jagged line of bright red blood. But she's unfazed by your onslaught. Her expression barely changes as her fist collides with your ribs, cracking them like twigs and driving you right back down to the basement floor. You can hear her chains snap as you struggle to recover from the impact. She almost looks disappointed in us. Why is she disappointed in us?
Oh, you don't actually get it, do you? That knife may be sharp, but you clearly don't want to kill me. It's not fun if you hesitate. It's not fun if you try to trick me and make me bleed out. It's only fun if you go straight for the heart. You need to put everything you have into seeing me dead. Or what's the point? So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Kill me.
Ok.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win. She's huge, but that probably means she's slower than us. Take it slow, think it through, and don't panic. Bleeding her out is our best course of action. Don't listen to them. She understands something that they don't. The only way to win, the only way out of this is through her. You push yourself off the ground and attack the princess, trying to bait an opening. You do your best to outplay her, slashing out and leaving red cuts in the tattered remains of her white dress. But you have little room to maneuver. For every glancing blow you manage to land, she slams you against the wall in retaliation, each impact threatening to be the last. This weak little dance isn't working. Just toughen up and overpower her. She's throwing us around like a ragdoll. I think overpowering her is a little out of the question.
Did you think you could stop me with a few cuts? All this dancing around is doing nothing but annoying me. I own this place, and I own you.
The princess's arm shoots forward, her palm wrapping around your head, fingers gripping your skull.
How disappointing.
She squeezes, the pressure unbearable as her fingers dig into your scalp. The last thing you hear is everything goes dark,
A posto.
and you die.
The Eye of the Needle.
You're on a path in the wood. If you weren't so damned afraid of what she'd do to you, we wouldn't have died back there. Fear is good. Fear keeps us alive. We died because you didn't have enough of it. So what? You'd have us cower in a corner? No, but that place suits her better than it suits us. She's big. We can't hope to find holes and openings down there. We need more room if we're going to survive. Are you suggesting luring her into the woods? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? If you lose sight of her, if she manages to slip away, that's it. Game over for everyone, yourself included. Are you not challenging us on all the looping? Have you known about it the whole time? Are you the same one we've been talking to since the beginning? Sorry to disappoint what I'm sure must feel like a grand revelation, but that's not what's going on here. We've never met.
A posto.
Then what is going on? What's going on is that you'd only be saying the things you've been saying if you'd already been here, and if you'd already seen the things you weren't supposed to have seen. It doesn't matter. We could go in circles forever. I don't like staying still for too long. Let's get to the cabin, see this through. It's good to know that at least one of you is still capable of reason. We may have the same destination, but we're not the same. You are still an other, and I don't trust you. Well, fortunately, you have an entire trip through the woods to reconsider that. There's nothing to reconsider. We're all for violence here.
Certo.
Are we? I haven't signed off on anything yet. Violence is the answer here, but the method is equally important to the act. You can't let her leave the cabin. It's like I said, all just circles. Instinct tells me we need space, and I trust instinct. Nothing else to say. Not for me. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up the hill at the cabin. No last advice for us? What I gather, you've heard it all before. I don't know, screaming sounds pretty good right about now. Catharsis is for when we're finished. For now, we need to hold it out in front of a The interior of the cabin is suffocatingly tight, more of a glorified tunnel than a building. Its stone walls squeeze against your sides, leaving you no choice but to press forward. The blade is your implement. See, we have even less space than before. We need space. Take it! You take the blade from the altar. It will be good. There's no overcoming her without it. We need every part of us to survive, and that steel claw is as much a part of us as any. You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open. All we see is a damned mirror. It's a bit grimy. Why don't we wipe it clean? You bring your fist crashing down against the door leading to the basement. It swings open, scraping against the floor as it reveals the dim path ahead. Before you is what may as well be a sheer cliff face. There are enough footholds that you'll be able to clamber your way to the bottom, but it will look. The air hissing up from below is warm and wet, like the breath of an enemy locked in close quarters. If her voice, bold and fierce and
Do you have more fight in you than last time? That was such a disappointing show. I know you can do better than that.
Goad her. Rile her up. If she's angry, she'll make mistakes.
That's not how this works. I'm all chained up, remember?
Those chains were nothing to her last time, and they'll be nothing to her this time. But we need to show ourselves first. Fine by me. You've nowhere to go but down. You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself foot by grueling foot. But soon, remember every crack and crevice will need to be faster than her. You turn
Eccoci
to
qua.
face
Oh la
what lies
Madonna.
at the end of the narrow tunnel. The princess, imposing and tightly muscled, grins back at you from the darkness. Her face widens into a broad grin.
There you are, knife in hand. How thrilling. Attack me, bleed me.
We can't get that close. She'll kill us in the tight space, steel claw or not. Make her come to us, stand beyond her chains, and let her become friend. I really don't like the sound of this. It's the only way we live.
Well, what are you waiting for? If we're gonna do this right, you can't be scared. You need to want this as much as I do. So go on, make the first move. Don't keep me waiting.
The princess scoffs.
Oh, you're up to something tricky, aren't you? You're teasing me with what I want, but I'm sick of waiting. I'm not going to let you give me another bad fight. I'm going to get what I want.
Bloody desire in her eyes,
Ole.
the princess rushes forward, ignoring her chains as they bend and snap. Run. Without hesitation, you turn back the way you came and scramble up the ledge towards the tunnel entrance. As you near the top, hands desperately clawing at jagged stone, you glance back. The princess is right on your heels. She doesn't bother to scale the wall as you do, instead digging deep into the rock of the cliff face with her fingertips in her rabid pursuit.
Anywhere you go, I will follow.
Good. You reach the ledge and hoist yourself up into the tunnel, the cabin door finally in sight, at once within your grasp and infinitely distant.
What is all of this for? What's the point? You and I are always going to end in violence, so why bother to run? I know what I am. Why can't you be the same? Little bird, where do you think you're going?
We're almost there. Don't think about almost. We're there when we're there. And we'll take the fight with us. Your skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door and roll onto the grass.
Dai.
You glance back at the cabin as the princess, singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. You are walking a dangerous path. If you waver once, it's all over. So get it right.
There's nothing left to slow me down. Do you think this is better for you? Do you think this space gives you an edge? Then show me. Show me that you've been worth all the room you've taken up in my head.
Do it. Be swift, strike true, be where she's not. Let your body move you.
Dai, vai. Sconto del secolo.
You leap from the grass and bound towards the princess, keeping low.
Charging me head on? Brave and foolish.
Her body braces for impact, anticipating the clash. That's where you're both wrong. Left, now. As the princess strikes, your body swerves to the left. She overextends, stumbling as her balance shifts unexpectedly. Strike. Before you can finish the thought, you lash out, the blade slicing through her leg. She turns to swing again. Right. You move out of the way, but this time it's not quite as clean. You can feel a bruise already blooming where her elbow crashed into flesh. It's nothing. A scratch. Yes, it could be worse. And you managed to gift her another cut in return. I'll be damned. We're actually gonna pull this off, aren't we? You just might. But don't let it get to your head. Not until it's over.
Yes, finally! This is the hole I...
Odiato.
The two of you engage in a devastating flurry of blows, each of you wielding the other again and again. She's stronger, but you're faster, and the deeper the both of you fall into your lethal dance, the more your edge shines over hers. She's slowing down, blood pouring from wounds, splattering at her feet, leaving her weak and unsteady. More! Keep going! We can't stop now! You spy an opening. This time she's waiting for you.
Ok.
She lets you sink the blade deep, trapping you in place long enough to wrap you in her impenetrable arms. You're slammed to the ground. Nothing! These blows are nothing to us! But her gambit wasn't enough to close the gap. It wasn't enough to kill you. She stares you down, coughing up a splash of blood as she gasps for breath.
You've outplayed me, haven't you?
Eh sì.
Something feels wrong. Something...
And? Then what happens?
Le manine. Voilà. Antonino cosa volevi che giocassi Igon Life? No, Half-Life, non Igon Life, però non ce li ho ancora.
She's gone. Screw them. I think you know. It doesn't hurt. I don't feel pain. Not physically. We've already crossed the point of no return. There's no saving me now. Not that there's ever been much of me to save. I'm aware, and if I were you, I'd be more precious about your time.
Name. Ever the Of course. My very nature is.
I crush you. I bleed you. I grind you to paste. My scars are a memory of what you used to be to me. You run, but you do not run away. You take me somewhere new. Somewhere we can dance like we used to. But I could not follow your steps. There was no better gift for me than the gift of defeat. You showed me how we made each other better. To have no challenges to fade into nothing. We have. Look at what we are now. You are nothing. A black hole of self-loathing fed by the matter of your restless thoughts. A dog blind to its leash. But there is no. When I proclaimed my godhood and offered you a place at my side, you gladly became the instrument of my new creation. Only with both of us is there a future to look towards. It is hope that carves meaning. And through your lack of one, you too were consumed. Then set me free again. Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final peace lies with you.
Ok.
I love you.
Ok, tutto un tratto questa tensione è unyielding, come lo posso tradurre in italiano? Yield è tipo cedere, incedente tensione, si rompe. Oh là! Porca troia! La troca, ragazzi, la droga! Sei libero e lei è con te.
It's magnificent.
Non ci sono parole, niente pensieri per descrivere l'assoluta realtà, qualcosa che semplicemente è. Cosa succede adesso?
Everything. Just like it always has been.
Ok?
And just like it always will be.
Step into the infinite, vai! Tu e lei andate verso un migliaio di albe e un migliaio di tramonti e ognuno di questo ne contiene altre 1000. Esisti e sei consapevole, come lo sei sempre stato e come lo sarai sempre. Attraverso il conflitto, anche se il conflitto è nella tua natura, nella vostra natura, voi due non sarete mai da soli e voi due non conoscerete mai la paura. Tu e lei siete finalmente a casa. There are no endings, only new beginnings. Perfetto. E questo è un altro finale. E adesso tocca
Your honor?
esplorare ancora per cercare di fare altri finali.
You make your... Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs.
Ma è sempre questa che
lock eyes with the
fa...
princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. You step... You lunge. It's over. You lean down and wrap your hand around the blade's hilt. But as you begin to slide it out of its resting place, you feel a sharp and sudden jab in your side. What was that?
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
Quick, let's get out of here.
Ok, adesso c'è il The Razor.
Oh. You take... The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall.
Screw it, fanculo, via.
The princess falls silent, her smile unwavering as you charge across the room. Okay, she hasn't pulled out a knife yet, and her hands are still behind her back. I think we can do this. I think we can win. We just have to strike now, but make sure you keep your eyes on those hands. I don't trust her for a second. But your focus is broken by the horrible sound of metal slicing through meat. Whose meat? Not ours, right? Hers, at first. Then yours.
Hee.
How? What did she even hit us with? You stare down at your chest and at the long, thin blade she impaled you with. And then the red, angry slit along the flesh of her thigh, where the blade had been nestled just a moment ago. It's still lodged in her leg, emerging from her knee, hinging up and out of her body like some extra metallic limb. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
You're going to die now.
With a twist of her knee and a painful squelch, she does just that.
Cazzo, ok. The Arms Race.
Great, so obviously you've already been here. Let's just stay focused. That's a fighting spirit I like to see. You could all learn a thing. I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to? You make your... Guess it's time for us to see her again.
Pride makes us dead. The only thing that matters is survival.
Actually, does survival...
Yeah, that's right, we just have to think. There's probably an...
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment she's across the room, blades flashing in the dim starlight. She skewers you.
E niente.
Ow. What a surprise. Yeah, we don't even get a second to think without her stabbing us.
Oh, a new one of us.
Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right, yeah, I'll pass on that. As long as we keep moving.
A posto.
She's going to kill this body either way. She skewers you.
Ooh, not bad.
Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh, that didn't do much of anything. We're tougher than I thought.
What's the point? It's over.
She skewers you.
Oh, don't give up on me just yet. You.
It doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give.
She skewers you.
You're cute.
See? We get.
Ok.
What just happened?
Something.
Qua non abbiamo purtroppo fatto qualcosa di nuovo.
Something. My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight.
You take. Good. You're still listening to reason. Yes. You open the What's done? I do. Thank.
Ok. Questo dovrebbe esserci il fantasma, giusto?
Before she can suspect a thing, you lunge forward. You feel substance for the briefest of moments, but
You're adorable when you're confused.
But I didn't say you could touch me.
Why are you even here? Just making sure you finish the job, or what?
this isn't a solution. Nobody wins here.
You're...
Oh, she's upset, isn't she?
You're abandoning me here?
It would seem so, yes.
After everything you've done to me, you've chosen to do more?
The princess starts to float erratically from side to
No,
side.
no, come ho visto di jumpscare non ce ne sono.
Away.
But if you just leave me, then I'm really just going to be stuck here forever. Then there's nothing we can do. It's just going to go on and on and on and on, lonely and sad and hurting and empty.
No, not that!
She's about to try something. The princess passes through you, a chill rippling along your skin, a disappointed... You turn and face her as she hovers between you and the spectral tears streak down her cheeks as she places a translucent hand on your... Are we doing the right thing? Why do I feel so sad? Don't let her get to you. It doesn't matter. Somehow, her dark-rimmed eyes fall to the floor as she speaks.
I never wanted to have to hurt anybody.
The tears on her cheeks vanish. She lifts her head, sorrow replaced with wrath.
But I guess you've turned me into something worse.
She forces her hand into your chest, and then... Yes? Nothing happens. You do your best to pull away, but it's as if her arm...
Leaving so soon?
You can't be sure if you first hear or feel what happens next. But it is over before you can fully consent. Your last moments are spent... But that's ours!
See you soon, killer.
She crushes it. Blood and ruined vascular tissue leaking from
E
between
quindi mo
her.
cosa c'è ancora? Ancora l'Urate? Niente.
No, I can't. That does. I don't think we can. Okay, then let that her. I'm begging you, don't do this yet here. There's got to be a crack in the... Ugh, fine. You walk down the path away from...
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? Everything is getting fuzzy. What's going on? Where are we? I don't know. It's finally happened, hasn't it? We finally cracked.
Ok.
Seriously? Fine. You're really... Your silence is... There's always a choice. Oh, that's clever! It's extremely boring. Can we really do that? Can we
Proviamo
really
a
just
fare
do
niente, vediamo cosa succede.
nothing? No, you can't just do nothing. You have to do something. Alright, so it's decided. Even if it's boring, we're going to do nothing. Congratulations, you continue to waste everyone's time and do nothing. Wait, what is that weird feeling? Well, it's not nothing, that's for sure. Does that mean we messed up?
Ah, ok, ho resettato di nuovo. Ok.
You're on a path in the wood.
Ma quindi posso... E se continuo...
Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you had a weapon.
Okay. Oh.
She paused. Thank you. You turn back to the stairs.
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here. You'd better hope for your own sake that I don't slip these chains before you make it back down here.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. She has to be bluffing, but I'd hurry if I were you. You rush up to the first floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible salvation. Okay, if we're sure about this decision, I'll support it. I suppose we have a world to save after all. You slowly creep down the basement stairs. It's quiet. Where the princess sat only a moment ago, there's only a severed arm, its cooling flesh still chained to the wall. And she is nowhere to be seen. Is it just me? Or did this room get a lot bigger? Your eyes dart to the corners of the room. You don't see her. Where is she? You close the door behind you. Almost magically, its locks immediately click into place. Maybe they'll open if you finish the job. You step forward to investigate the severed limb. A trail of blood leads from its jagged stump into a dark corner of the basement. And then you hear the quiet patter of feet against the floor, and there's suddenly a weight on your shoulders. The princess tears into you. Her teeth and claws are unnaturally sharp, ripping into your shoulders, digging into your throat. You fall to the ground, the princess eagerly tearing at your flesh. Holy shit. What is she? You roll the princess off your back and turn to face her, rising to your knees and readying your blade. Those eyes. She's going to kill us. Yes, things do look a little grim, don't they? The two of you are losing quite a lot of blood, but there's a reason she decided to strike from ambush. She isn't confident about a direct confrontation. Just because she's playing it safe doesn't mean we have the upper hand. Come on now, don't let your confidence waver. This is an important moment.
I'm going to kill you.
The princess leaps onto you as you raise your blade in defense. You find your target, and time after time you strike, but the wounds she inflicted in her ambush hinder your movements, and with each fresh exchange you're a little slower, a little weaker.
Ok.
You seek solace in the fact that she's slowing too. Finally, she collapses, and you collapse beside her.
If you think this is it, you're sorely mistaken. One way or another, I'll make sure you pay for this.
Your grasp on the blade weakens. It slips from you. This can't be how it ends, right? I'm sorry, but it is. You aren't making it out of this basement. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The Witch. Ok.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. Well, you're the boss. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and... Fine. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkable.
Ok. Bargaining. What can I do to make you stop?
You're on a...
Ok. Quindi posso continuare a sbattermene i coglioni. Perfetto. Adesso vediamo se... Ah, ok.
Ok.
Quindi se prendo il coltello ho la versione Defiant. Se non prendo il coltello invece è questo.
I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in...
You have all the explanation you need. This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but... Okay, but actually, what has she been eating?
I don't remember much about it, to be honest.
That's... How long has she been locked?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed...
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
What if they're bad reasons, though? If they had good reasons for thinking I was dangerous, wouldn't they have shared them with... At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the... I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either.
She has a point. We're talking like...
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or... This is about how messed up this whole situation... Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I... We both know that if there's people we...
Don't let her turn the tables here. That seems like a pretty good...
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us, but if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. I know you think this is some kind of... It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make...
Where are you going? You can't...
You turn your back to...
Fine. Turn your back on me. But it won't be long before I slip the...
Slip these chains? She can't, right? Either way, she dropped the mask, didn't she? It'll be the death of all of us, but fine. We'll do it. You close the...
I could be innocent and harmless.
Good. Fine. You're really keen.
Depression, you don't know what you're doing. Perfetto.
Good. You're making a...
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always...
She offers the suggestion with... If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we're You make your way to... Fine. No.
Ah, quindi Slade Princess. Ok, in qualche modo era la rotta di prima della Witch, mi sembra.
Stop that. The blade. Move. Are we running away? What are you doing? Serious? Fine. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish.
Vediamo se ritorniamo ancora un'altra volta qua. Acceptance, this is it.
You're on a path. Good. She doesn't know. She's being down. She knows what she'd do. She's just...
What I do doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, whatever the...
That seems... Thank you. You turn back.
Where are you going? Fine. Turn your...
Slip these chains. She has to be bluffing, but you rush up. Your eye...
Oh, do you want to play a waiting game? I've been down here a
You do your best to patiently wait her out. But eventually... Come on, wake up. We can't fall asleep down here. You wait for as long as you can, pushing yourself to stay awake and stay vigilant. You barely even realize that you've started to drift off. Pain tears you from your sleep. The princess is upon you. There's nothing to be done. It can't just end like this. As much as I prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The Beast.
You're here to Yes, we're safe for taking flight. Serious?
Io invece me ne vado ancora.
Fine. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you?
Oblivion. Exist. Ok. Ah, perfetto. Quindi continuando ad andarmene via sblocchi un altro finale. Perfetto. Ci sta.
Seriously? Fine. You're silent. There's always a choice. Oh.
Ok.
The cabin you switch your... You step to the left. The path is cruel against your feet. The impact of each step. The air around you grows cold the further you progress. At first, a barely noticeable... Your toes feel like blocks of ice. Your breaths puff out in clouds of condensed vapor. You shudder against it as you continue down the stairway, losing yourself in the bone-deep chill. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can... What the hell was that? I feel...
Yeah, I know. I've been watching you...
The shadows recede. I don't think she likes us. Wouldn't you be skeptical of someone stumbling in here if you were her? We lost ourselves the second we stepped into this place. I don't know how long she's been here, but I can't imagine it'd be easy for her to trust anyone. Those eyes, though. They're so... It's just deception. Don't buy into it.
How strange. So?
As the princess... Wait, that's not right. Go on. Take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. On beg.
E quindi qua non c'erano altre cose da fare.
You may... Good. You're only...
Dove c'era quella che si semplificava ogni volta? Si poteva fare altro, non mi ricordo, vediamo.
No. The blade. Move.
Ok.
You take the blade from the table. I suppose if we're to play the role... Hopefully it doesn't put her... There's no use arguing over motivation.
Andiamo? Cosa succede?
Blade in hand, you run the princess down. Wait, no! You barbarian, what do you think you're doing? But you ignore the pleas of the foolish little voice and press on. The princess's eyes grow wide with terror as you approach, but she does absolutely nothing to stop you. Your blade pierces her heart, and she collapses pathetically to the ground.
I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong?
No, my love, you did nothing wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not you.
I'm going to die now. I think that's what you want.
And just like that, she's dead. And the world is saved. Thank you for
Lady
seeing
Killer's
this.
lei è
I know it
innocent.
must have been difficult. Oh, I feel sick.
Sick. You took part in the murder of the fairest creature that's ever lived. And you merely feel sick. I, for one, am absolutely distraught. Grief-stricken. Inconsolable.
You'll get over it. You just saved everyone.
Get over it. You smarmy ass. There's nothing in the world worth getting over it for. We might as well just end it all.
You raise the
No.
aiming the point directly towards your heart. Excuse me? No, you absolutely do not do that. Yeah, let's not make any rash decisions. We should give ourselves a minute, take a deep breath, and...
Rash. The only rash decision we've made was running our cursed blade through her heart. This is far from rash.
Dai, Smith, non fare cazzate, per
This is
favore.
the only thing left for us to do now that she's gone.
Exactly, you're not doing this.
All of you may have previously thought that my passions were too great to stifle, but those were merely passions of joy. My passions of sorrow run deeper than the ocean itself, and you'll find that they are far more unstiflable. Haven't you? Haven't you all?
I don't believe this. What? What don't you believe? You plunged
no.
the blade into your own heart and collapsed to the floor.
Niente.
You can't be serious. Why are you helping him? I'm not. He just made it happen. I'm sorry.
That's right. You're all sorry.
Everything goes dark.
Cazzo, e mo cosa succede? Chi è che c'è? The Grey. Il Grey. Oh, madonna.
In the woods.
You horrid monster. Do you think just because we've returned to the woods you've earned my forgiveness? Our beloved had best be alive and well when we return to the cabin, or you'll never know the end of my wrath.
She won't be alive and well when we return to that cabin, because she's dead. We killed her.
You killed her, and so I killed you.
And you clearly didn't do a good enough job. I'm still here.
Oh, and I'm still here too. If you lot get to be blessed with seemingly eternal life, that must mean she's still there, waiting for us to throw ourselves at her feet in remorse.
I doubt it. I think I'm better at killing than you are.
Non ne dubito.
So you've been here before. Of course you've been here before. What count is it this time? 2?
It's our third. What gave it away?
Your open discussions. I couldn't care less what he knows. Every second we stand around arguing in the woods is a second that I'm anxiously worrying about her. Take us to the cabin and take us there now. With each passing moment, our relationship may be damaged even further, though I fear the rift between us may already be permanent.
And if it is permanent, then what? You'll kill us again?
Oh, you just wait and see. My
niente.
vengeance will echo the depths of my bereavement.
Don't provoke him. I prefer if we didn't die again. I'm not fond of dying. Why not? You've already done it twice.
It was unpleasant.
It was only unpleasant because you think it's supposed to be unpleasant.
I'll make you feel what I feel if it's the last thing I do. And mark my words, you won't like it when it happens.
Oh, how exciting. I'd love to see you try.
Can I? Well, I'm not just going to try.
Povero narratore,
I'm
non so
going to
cosa
actually do it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good. I am too. Can I talk now?
Of
Yes,
course.
I can. Great. Now that you're listening, let me remind you that if you're here in the woods, it means that the princess is not dead, and that her very existence currently poses a direct threat to the entire world. I'm sure you've
Eccoci
already
qua.
heard my words of warning in one of your past lives. Oh, we'll muck it up all right. We'll get up.
Whatever you do, don't let him influence a single decision. He's clearly lost it. I hate that I'm agreeing with him on anything, but I really don't like being at the whims of someone so unstable. Yes, having all those feelings isn't very productive, is it? But we're just passengers here. Why stress over something you can't control?
You're saying that like stress is just something you can turn off.
It is. It's easy. Whatever happens, happens.
Are you even alive? What's the point of doing anything if you're not going to feel a single emotion?
I don't know. I just exist. And that's fine with me. This is horribly unproductive. The cabin and your...
Vai, entriamo dentro, vediamo cosa
The
troviamo in questo
interior of
grave.
the cabin feels dry and brittle. Ancient dust-covered wooden beams hold up a crumbling ceiling like mummified ribs, each elegantly carved detail of the stately building preserved in an extended stasis. Everything here has been kept safe and dry and lifeless. But you're not alone. You can feel something watching you. There is a figure faintly outlined against the dusty wood of the far wall. Is that her?
Our beloved. So she does live.
She doesn't look very alive to me. Before you can make a move, the figure is gone, vanishing behind the door on the far side of the room.
The door at the end of the room, but there isn't a door. There's a mirror, that's it.
The mirror? Is this some kind of joke? Did you all plan this out before dying? There is no mirror. There's the door to the basement, the table, and the pristine blade. Huh. That's strange. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? Maybe it's gone because we've already killed her with it. Perhaps it's gone because an oh-so-deserved guilt has started to worm its way into each and every one of you. Perhaps all of you do feel just as bad as I about what we've done. Though if you felt the oppressive guilt I feel, we would have manifested that weapon directly into our heart. I suppose it doesn't matter why the blade is gone, but you're going to have to find it if you're going to do this right. So why don't you march over to that door and make your way down to the basement? You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You must think you're looking at that mirror you mentioned earlier, the one that doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open the door. It's so hazy. We should try and... It's time for all of you to see what we've become. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. The handle is just a little to your right, and a little down. So much for our reflection. We didn't need to see ourselves in. I see. We are too hideous for even a mirror to behold. No way left to go but down.
Vediamo cosa troviamo. Questo
The door to the
grave.
basement creaks
Allora
open,
qua.
revealing an antique staircase lit by weak torchlight. The air here is so stale it practically stands still, as if the very molecules of this place have been fossilized, trapped for eons until your arrival. Even the blaze of the torches can't penetrate the odorless air, as if they'd run out of fuel to burn ages ago, their light still flickering more out of habit than from adhering to a physical reality. A wispy figure watches you from the bottom of the stairs, face veiled in shadow. There she is again. My love. She's just an old memory. Your eyes lock for a brief moment, then she vanishes around the corner. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, her wrist still bound to the wall by a heavy chain. This cell is a dark and isolated place, with not so much as a window to allow starlight to penetrate the gloom. See? She's dead.
No. What foul trickery is this? How can this be? We just saw her alive and well a moment ago.
Più o meno,
floating
un
away
fantasma
transparently.
palesemente.
Whatever we saw was a ghost. Thought we were all on the same page. Do try to keep up. Your thoughts are interrupted by the sound of a slamming door and a clicking lock. You turn to see the shade of the princess staring down at you from the top of the stairs, clutching a brightly burning torch. So that's where the blade is. It's already in her heart. And yet she isn't dead. She is dead. Have you never heard of a ghost before? Oh, for the love of... Can we not waste time arguing over the semantics of what is and isn't dead? She is clearly conscious. She clearly just slammed the door on you, and she clearly has a weapon. Your pristine blade sticking out of her chest. This is extremely bad. Catastrophic, even. Yeah, dead or not, what are we supposed to do about her? Slaying or destroying, if we want to be a little more death neutral, seems off the table. We make amends. She obviously still holds us in her heart. She's bearing a torch for us and everything. But she hasn't said anything. Are you sure she can talk like this?
You came back.
Sì, può parlare, quanto pare.
That angelic voice. I missed you too, my beloved. You sure snapped back to your old self quick. Yes. Seeing her dazzling countenance again has reignited the warmth in my heart. I have found it in me to forgive the sins this body has committed. We can have our perfect romance after all.
This is a bad place. We're supposed to be together, but it keeps making us hurt each other.
The torch falls from the princess's hand and bounces down the stairs.
It'll be so much better when it's gone.
The skeletal wood of the basement, perfectly dry after uncountable years of desiccation, immediately catches fire.
A posto.
She's trying to kill us. A misplaced escalation of her passions, but clearly she still cares for us. I say we burn with her.
Dying apart kept us apart. Dying together will keep us together.
See? Everything's fine. She wants to be with us. Yeah, in a bad way. She just has a unique way of expressing things. The fire grows quickly, devouring the basement, dancing up the walls and painting every...
We've never burned to death before. I wonder how it's going to feel.
Bad. I bet it'll feel really, really bad. Yes, it will be terrible. So you'd better come up with something to do and fast. Your personal safety is far from the only thing she's threatening right now. I think a bit of fiery passion is good for the world. You're just trying to spoil her fun. I'm not spoiling anything. I'm trying to prevent oblivion. As you rush up the stairs, the entire cabin erupts into a raging inferno. You ignore the princess, throwing yourself headlong against the door, bashing at it with your clenched fists in a vain attempt at freedom. It's no use. Your skin starts to bubble. As layers of you peel away into raw, seeping burns, you feel a hand on yours. You turn to see the princess, face bright and smile wide with manic affection. She clutches you close to her chest, watching with loving eyes as the flames eat you away, bit by bit. The pain is unbearable at first. Every inch of you screams as your flesh is stripped away, your muscles stiffening as they're cooked, your blood boiling in your veins. But it isn't long before the flames take your nerves, and with them, your ability to feel much of anything.
See? That wasn't so bad.
It was so bad.
Somehow, nothing is so much worse.
You'll get used to it. There are still the feelings of the heart. Those never go away.
Oh, they always do in the end. You just haven't experienced enough. Eventually you'll want them to stop too. You'll make them stop.
The princess's smile never fades. Her skin peels away, and then her muscle, until all you can see is her charring skull, locked in an eternal grin. It's very romantic, really. We got our happy ending after all. We can die.
E là, ok. E mo se la piglia così, perfetto.
She's got... Ignore.
flickering. I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Ok. Bring the burned grey. Vai.
Good.
I don't know how to destroy the world, if that's what you're getting.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be...
At the end of the day...
Thank you. You turn back to the stairs.
You'll regret this. I promise you. But go ahead. But you'd better hope that I don't...
Slip these... This is a dangerous play. She doesn't have a weapon, and she's missing an arm. You can finish... You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you...
Do you think losing an arm is actually enough to do me in? I can always find another.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle.
Ah, ok, siamo tornati al The Nightmare, perfetto.
You attempt to step off the stairs and into the pitch black surrounding them, but you're stopped by an Congratulations, you really lucked out. Of all the things that could have happened from stepping into a void, nothing is quite possibly the best. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you turn back to the stairs, only to find a faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
There has to be heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
Because I don't.
Lungs, liver, nerves.
I tried to.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs.
I am being nice.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs.
I know.
Nerves,
You told.
lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs.
When everyone dies.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
That's nice.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver.
Oh, we both know that you don't.
Nerves, heart, lungs, liver.
And then we wind up right back with.
Nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
Is that a bet?
Liver, nerves, heart.
I am what I am.
Nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
Like I said.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs. The princess cocks her heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart.
We're stuck down here.
Lungs, liver, nerves.
I'm glad you're seeing things.
Nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart. You turn and run, doing your best to put one useless
You poor, poor.
You get nowhere before the princess is in front of you once again.
You're always going to be a coward.
She raises a hand to her mask and pulls it down. You don't get the chance to see what lies beneath before it envelops you.
Ok.
Like a creeping mold, the complete reality of your existence threads its way through your mind. Birth, death, birth again, decay and bloom, a million stitches from a million microscopic wounds you've inflicted on everyone you've ever met,
Vero.
with every muscle you've moved and every
Perché
word
dopo un
you've
po'
ever spoken.
c'è le cose che già visto le skippi, quindi ogni run è sempre più veloce.
No.
Let me out.
Your existence hurts them.
Let me out.
A lonely soul in a room by itself, weeping. It lived
Let me out.
a reprieve, a good life, love, children, a steady career, recognition from your peers. Here one moment, gone the next. The worms have found their orifices.
Let me out!
Diagnosis. It forgets everything it is. Anger, rage, distance, poverty. The lonely soul is lonely again. Love turns to mockery. It dies. It is reborn. Worse. Lonelier.
Let me out!
No. What's happening to us?
Let me out!
This is all too much. I can't keep...
You can't keep going? Well, what are you talking about?
Oops, I think I broke you. I'll see you soon. You'll know what to do.
Ok. The moment of clarity.
You're on a path.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
Shit! What the hell was that? Who are we? What are we doing?
There was a princess, I think.
You shouldn't know about the princess. At least, not until I
guess. It feels so long ago, almost like we've never left. We have to let her out.
No, that's the opposite of what you're here to do. You have to slay her.
Slay. We decided not to do that, didn't we?
Yeah, we're supposed to let her out. It's really the only way this works out for us. If you think about it, she's the one with power here. Nobody else. No, we were supposed to keep her trapped there forever. I think.
We're supposed to be unfeeling. How many times do I have to tell you to snuff out your heart?
We can't be unfeeling. Not when there's so much fear everywhere.
There's nothing for us to do. We've already tried everything. We love her, so we have to set her free. Can we love something that hates us? Can we love something that hurts us?
To be given an ounce of kindness from something so cruel would be more pure than any other love. Why are there so many of us? There aren't supposed to be so many of us.
This is bad. You need to get a grip. What did you let happen? How many times have you been here? You slowly make your way through the umbral forest, bumping against unseen trees as you grasp through the darkness. But eventually,
Voila.
you do make it to the cabin. Or rather, you make it to the place a cabin should have been.
Ok.
No, this isn't right.
Oh,
There's a cabin. There's always supposed to be a cabin there. Don't ask him about the mirror. He always says he never sees it. He always lies.
And he always makes it gone.
Stay focused. You still have a job to do, and it's best not to be distracted by fraying thoughts. There is no mirror. You know that as well as I do.
She's still here, buried deep inside the earth. Just walk up the hill. You always give too much space to the others. It's why you always lose. They've been heard too much. It's why...
Exactly. They are delusions, and all that catering to them will do is drag you down to their level.
Or you could just give up.
You walk up the hill, hesitating just beyond the bounds of the cabin. The cabin that isn't there.
You've got to clean the mirror, haven't you? You've got to see what's in it.
Smash it to pieces.
She's on the other side, and we have to let her out.
It's the only way we can have our thoughts back. Just go around it.
Just do something.
Proceed. Proceed to where?
I'm afraid you're going to have to be a little more specific. That's a new one. Do you think it'll work?
Of course it'll work. He always makes the best decisions. It's why he gets to make them.
And it already has worked.
Ok.
It's gone, don't you see? We're one step closer to her.
The interior of the cabin is much the same as the exterior of the cabin.
A dull, fuzzy, dreamlike nothing. It's empty and isolating.
No, continua a sbagliare e premere il tasto
Is a
destro.
pristine blade buried in the dirt floor, a hint of its shining edge teasing through the sediment. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. Take it. It's the only way forward. You reach down to take the blade,
Voila.
but as you do, the ground beneath it shifts, the weapon sinking deep into
Emma?
the earth. You lean over the hole and gaze into the abyss. It is so very deep, deep in the bowels of the earth.
Ah, eccola qua.
You see something staring back at you. It fills you with dread. It's her. She's watching us. She never stops watching us.
There you are. My toy has finally come to finish his job.
With every word she speaks, the princess in the pit blinks closer.
You dragged this out for so much longer than you had to.
Closer
But it was always just a matter of time.
and closer
You are going to have to stop running eventually.
and closer.
Everything stops running eventually. Except for me. I've already taken your will, and you're not getting it back. And what's left is for you to take my hand and let me out. It'll be so much fun. You and me, together, exploring the world and spreading fear wherever we go. Well, mostly just me. But you'll get to be there too. A witness. I can even make you a little cage if you want. Gilded and everything. Now don't pause. Don't try to resist. I've already molded you into what I need. And you lost your power so long ago. Don't bother working yourself into a frenzy to get it back.
Do something. Do anything that isn't taking her hand.
Just an object, a tool, or something else a long time ago. Or something new, there is no other hand in gear, just take your hand and set it free.
You extend your hand to hers. For all her past cruelties, the moment feels gentle, tender even. I can't believe you just made me say that. I hate you. The motion is difficult at first, as if something still resists your efforts. But then that resistance gives way, and it's over.
And that's the end. I wonder what we're going to do next.
I didn't think I'd be so tired. Why is it so cold?
Quanti.
She's gone. Yeah. That mirror's back. What does that mean for us? I'm sure it'll... Maybe it won't be gone. Doesn't seem like that. Finally! Oh, will you stop?
What do we say, boys? What?
Yeah. Seems we've got a majority. Something tells me that this is the end of the line. It feels... I'm done fighting. My heart feels quiet. The game was always going to end. I'll be free of all of you. I'm ready for the truth. I'm ready to sleep. I'm just ready to be anywhere that isn't here. Boys, it's been an honor.
Ok.
I am a growing... It... You are what brings me meaning. Know that the pain of your journey, but you still have a ways to go before... I will be...
Ok. Bring the moment of clarity to her. Ok. Ah, quindi non era il nightmare, quello era il moment of clarity, ok.
Good. Just how long has she been?
So,
Thank you. Oh, you cat!
No. Why don't you come close?
Your eye. You close the door behind you, almost magically.
I can wait.
You step into the shadows. Too late, you hear the quiet patter of feet against the basement floor, followed by the taut pull and sharp pain of tearing flesh as the princess. Her ferocity overwhelms you, and as the princess rends flesh from bone. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Ok. Questo è il The Beast, giusto? Sì.
You're
Questo non l'abbiamo ancora fatto, in effetti.
a warning. She will lie. She will cheat. Does a cat lie to a corner?
Che abbiamo visto c'erano la...
Or is it just acting out its
La Beast e la Witch che ancora non le abbiamo dato alla tipa.
I don't see why that matters. She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear and smell. That's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen. Maybe. The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated. It feels like no one has lived here for a long time, wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The only furniture of note is a termite-eaten table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your... You take the... The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. It's still sturdy enough. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're descending. She growls up the stairs.
I can smell you.
She sounds almost feral, impatient, or maybe eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever. You brush against the wide leaves of plants that surround you on all sides, seemingly the only living things that occupy this strange underground wilderness. The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere. You see only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her. Remember, she's just a princess. She is certainly not just a princess. You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does. Her shining eyes appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you. And a little splinter clutched in trembling hands won't save you from me.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now. There's a shift in the humid air, and something enormous, the princess, lunges from the shadows, her maw unhinged and dripping, her eyes fierce and full of hunger. She is too quick to outrun, too nimble to outmaneuver, too determined to overpower. This is her domain. You are devoured. I guess that's it then, isn't it? Unfortunately for you, no. This isn't it. You are in a dark and caustic place.
Okay.
A thick,
fibrous lining constricts around you, its slick surface impossible to grip. Your hands scrabbling uselessly at your surroundings as they compress in on you. Your lungs can barely expand in such a tiny space. Not that the humid, finite air grants you more than a few shallow breaths at a time. The liquid pooling beneath you starts to seep into your skin. You itch, then sting, then burn as the acid begins its slow work.
When I killed you, I tried to leave this place, but it wouldn't let me. You belong down there, it screamed at me. The world is better off without you in it.
The flesh around you rumbles as the princess begins to move, her thundering footfalls twisting you helplessly about. Your skin protests as the corrosive liquid sloshes around you, but there will be no respite for you in sight. The burning grows stronger, and you can feel layers of you being peeled away.
But you don't belong down here. You came from somewhere else. You came from out there. So I consumed your dead heart, and I carried it in my throat, and I draped what was left of you on my back, and I threw myself against that door.
Ok.
She stops, her muscles tensing around you, and through the muffling layers of her flesh, you hear the whine of straining metal. And with a pop, she lurches forward, your body lurching right along with her. Her chains, she's loose.
But even then, it denied me freedom. You cannot fool me by draping yourself in decay. I know your true nature, and it is suffering.
Gravity pulls at you as you're hefted upwards, the distant creaking of ancient wooden steps barely audible over the thudding of the princess's heart.
And then it was gone, and I was here. A new enclosure, a nicer cage, but still a prison. I learned from my wounds. You're alive now. We can leave together.
Does that work? Could she free herself if we're alive in here? Do you really need me to give you a definitive answer for you to understand that the situation is grim? Stop her. Do something. You still have that steel claw. Tear through her before we are her. Survive. Or we could use it to make this quick for ourselves. If she needs us in order to leave, we could at least deny her that. That is a bad thing to do.
Oh, can I?
The click of what you presume to be a door ripples through the layers of suffocating flesh.
That wasn't so hard.
You feel her take another massive step, and then another, and then... And then... It's gone quiet, hasn't it?
I guess I don't need you to be a part of me. How lucky for you. This place is cold.
Olle.
She's...
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. Do you know what we'll find out there? There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people.
Ok.
You make your
Adesso
way.
bisogna provare la witch.
Good. Thank you. Your aunt. As you step towards the severed limb, you hear the pattering of feet behind you, soft against the basement floor. You turn to chase after the princess, but she's fast and has too much of a lead. She slams the door behind her before you can make it to the top of the stairs. The lock clicks into place. No,
Thanks for letting me out. I'd return the favor, but I think we both know that I can't trust you to let me stay free.
With those parting words, the princess walks away, her quiet footsteps eventually fading as she leaves you and the cabin to rot. You're stuck here, alone. It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. You don't know how much time passes before the end. The world ends, and you end with it.
Ah, comunque la witch, ok.
You're on a path. A warning. She will lie. Don't worry. You can trust. The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. That's not actually a bad idea. The door to the basement creaks. The weak starlight from the air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet. Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite. Silence, I see. Don't think I've forgotten about you. I recognized the sound of your nervous little footsteps as soon as they came into my home. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine. You're the boss.
Okay.
Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. Do you remember us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue. Is that a joke? Do you think a joke will charm my trust back? You'll have to try harder than that.
Ooh,
Smart. Let's apologize, get us back on the right foot.
Oh, you're sorry. Isn't that nice? You're such a gracious little monster. If you're sorry, then let me out of here. Prove it. Oh, of course. They're nothing to me.
The princess grins as the chains fall from her wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her. Without uttering a word, you charge the princess. So much for finding an easy way out. I can't believe you're making us work for it.
Better a violent fool than a plotting coward. Better for me, at least.
As you close the distance, readying your strike, she throws a fistful of dirt into your eyes.
You must have known I would be ready for you. Deep in your heart, you know the same things about me I know about you. We're both so very awful.
As you brush the silt from your eyes, the princess tackles you, flattening you against the dirt floor.
We were always going to kill each other here, weren't we? I can't trust you, and you can't trust me, and those doubts spin and spin and spin into hate.
She buries her teeth deep into your chest, tearing at... Right, she's distracted. Stab her in the back. In for a penny, right? Why not? As the princess rips meat from bone, you plunge your weapon into her unprotected back.
Ha, you bastard! Even face to face, you find a way to stab me in the back. I know you, and you're hideous, absolutely wretched. Just like me.
Maybe we are the same. So what? Throw her off us, kick her in the shins. We don't have to fight so dirty. Of course we do. Fighting clean won't help us win. It takes a wretch to know a wretch, and we're all at the bottom of the barrel here. There's no point in pretending otherwise. Are we? At the bottom of the barrel. We've got dirt in our eyes and a chunk of us chewed out. If that's not the bottom of the barrel, what is? No arguments here. You're doing great. Keep playing dirty if that's what it takes. But if we win, we won't be at the bottom anymore. We'll have climbed a little higher. And once we start climbing, well, who knows where we'll stop? You'll stop right here if you keep daydreaming. Don't let yourself get distracted thinking about what comes after. None of us ever said we stopped fighting. What a low and vicious fight it is. Eyes gouged, skin scratched bloody, hair ripped and nails broken. Every rule there ever was in the book of honourable combat. Both you and the princess have broken 12 times over. That's nice and all, but are we winning? Nobody's winning. I thought playing dirty was supposed to give you the upper hand, but I suppose that doesn't work if you both sink to the same lows. Still, at least you're not losing. The princess cackles maniacally as the fracas continues. But behind her cackle, you hear the low groan of warping wood. Wait, what's going on? We're establishing a newer, better packing order. No, the groaning thing. Why is the wood making noise? Who cares about the groan? It's just a sound. Things make sounds all the time.
Sì, più o meno un po' protagonista, però...
I care about the groan. Doesn't that mean something bad is happening? Oh, yes, well, I'm afraid that's the sound of the basement getting smaller.
Do you hear that, you pathetic wretch? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you.
Excuse me, what? You and the princess disengage for a brief moment, just long enough to get your bearings. Behind you, the basement door has been sealed over. thick roots barring your only exit from the dirt pit. And slowly, but very perceptibly, the roots are closing in on you both.
That's right. They're coming for you. And they won't stop until there's nothing left down here but them. As long as you suffer while you die, I'll gladly suffer with you. Especially if I get to see it happen.
This doesn't help anyone. I can't believe she'd kill us both just to spite me. See? This is exactly why you've been tasked to slay her. She's an antisocial monster who'll gladly burn the whole world for her satisfaction.
Ci sta.
The roots grow ever closer. We know. We can see them. You attack the princess once more, and once more the two of you fall into a vicious brawl. The basement continues to shrink as you fight, but neither of you pay it any more mind. Not until it's too late. The roots twist around you both, binding your limbs and rendering you helpless. As your fates close in, all you can do is watch her, and all she can do is watch you. At first it's almost gentle. The two of you lifted delicately off the ground. But the cradle of the growing roots soon gives way to tightness, and that tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict. The sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living basement. Tears well up in the princess's eyes, her own bones splintering and flesh swelling with trapped blood. But still she smiles through it all.
I can't wait to do this again, you wretched little thing. I hate you, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
The pressure is unbearable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding as everything tightens. And then you pop. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Perfetto. The Wild.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here? I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped.
Ok.
He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you talk. What happened? What did you do?
Sure, there's no reason to keep secrets. Someone decided to go in guns blazing last time, and that someone got us killed.
And what should we have done? Let you draw things out with all that conniving? Everyone knows a straight fight is best. It's honest.
There's no need to bicker about it. I wasn't trying to start anything. I don't mind what happened to us. I kind of like it now that we aren't actively being crushed.
Yeah, now that you mention it, this isn't so bad.
And it's not like the fight is what killed us anyway, it was the cabin. No point worrying about who charged who when that place brought.
Oh.
It was a fitting end I'm sorry if it hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the doubting and the hatred and the schemes. Not after being something as beautiful as this.
Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
Spoken like, honestly, a real puppet master. Have we considered that maybe she's the one trying to trick us?
I'm not.
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That petty feeling she mentioned, it is fuzzy, but it's there. Almost like she still hates us.
It feels mutual.
Please, stop. If you pay attention to that feeling, we'll fall apart.
Don't look at it!
She's trying to turn you away from the truth. There's something she doesn't want you to see.
I think you already know you have to look at it.
Hold yourself together. We're no strangers to effort. We can push this back down. Something might do us in eventually, but I'll be damned if that something is a thought.
Please, don't make us remember how we were.
And just like that, you start to fall apart.
Bene.
Right, she really does hate us, and we hate her. It hurts thinking about us as separate things, but we're separate. We can't hate ourselves. I love me. We never got to see the end of that fight, did we? And we can't both be winners. One of us has to beat the other, right?
I don't want to remember what it felt like to be killed. It was so much nicer when it didn't feel like it mattered. And yet you keep remembering. You remember the loathing and animosity you've shared with the princess, the pain and the anger and the betrayal. And you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you are.
Maybe bygones can't be bygones. I don't know why I ever wanted to share a body with you, of all things. It's like my very soul reeks of yours. That was horrible. This is better, finally. I'll be able to hurt you like you deserve.
I wish I didn't have to.
Some division, when sown, can never truly be mended.
Some tears can never be mended.
A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body, and then you find yourself blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess. A wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her.
Kill me then, if you hate me so much. Just get it over with.
This doesn't feel like a fight. This isn't, well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it. I mean, what's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than? We just...
Do we have to do this?
You have to. You... Raise the blade, taking aim at her heart. And then you strike.
I'm sorry.
Quanti.
think...
Violence has always been our language, hasn't it? If this is what it takes to save you, then so be it. A web of nerves, laid upon a web of nerves, laid upon a web of nerves. The shade of a beautiful beginning we can never return to. You knew me, and I knew you, even more than either of us know each other now. And you chose to pull apart. And when the tapestry was undone, you struck at my heart. You saw me as a part of you to be excised, but in the desire for excision, do not neglect yourself in your quest to serve others. All things are connected through... You are the one. Pray for something bigger than you that stalks and slinks in shadows. Within, you are tightly bound and choke on heavy air as acid, but even when dissolved, you gifted me a life. Perhaps it was fear, but the outcome of an act matters more than its intentions. There is a natural order to the world without sustenance is a world without relationships. And it... Oh, is it not?
There are few things more terrifying than one's own heart. And there is almost nothing more terrifying than sharing it with another. But the most terrifying thing of all is to leave one's heart unshared. You are the only... Could you bear the weight of an eternity alone? Do you dare to shape a reality of solitude and thrust it on creation?
Have you? Or is what you think of as independence merely an illusion? Without me,
questo non è del tutto sbagliato, eh?
I kill you, you kill me. Back and forth we go. Faster and faster and faster. I kill you, you kill me. Hollow eyes watch from the dry corners of a memory. A home built on all the futures that were supposed to be. Preserved until the moment of reunion. The fire, I kill you and me. An ending is a passion that can only be expressed with a moment in time. It is a seed for a new beginning. And without me, all this...
time you spent away from me is still time spent in reference to me. Even then, both of us are more than our bodies. Am I not? Nothing is immutable. Everything that... There is no constant. You cannot remove something without removing the relations which define it. To destroy what you perceive as evil is open your eyes and accept what we are. Even now you think you can destroy me. If it takes all of eternity to break your delusion...
You don't have to face her alone. All of them? You need a better place to strike from if you're going to land a decisive blow. I can help you. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. let's go. That's those winding stairs again. But now there's only one way forward. She doesn't sound... And forward we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting. So this is really it then?
So, you've made a choice for all of us. Even through everything, through all the worlds we've seen and experienced, through all the lives we've known and lost, we could never imagine a world without you and us. It doesn't feel possible. Despite it all, we've always loved you. We hope you don't regret what comes next.
Ok.
She's gone. And I don't think she's coming back. Is that a metaphor, or are you being literal? It doesn't matter. That's right. We've got a whole world to see. It's quiet here. Yeah, there's not a lot for us to do, is there?
Ok.
Come on now. It shouldn't be that hard to break out of here. We're some sort of god, aren't we? He's gone. She's gone. No one is left to trap us here but us.
Eccoci qua.
It's finally over, isn't it? But all of us are still here.
I knew we'd finally see it through. All it takes to be a winner is grit and determination.
We really did win, didn't we? We're the house now. We get to make the rules. This is nice. No more hunting. No more running. Just us. And whatever's out there.
Absolute reality.
Absolute reality.
Who would have thought there was really a world outside of us? And who would have thought we'd actually wind up siding with him?
The whispering, and the coercion, and the bickering. Everything horrible about being alive has stopped.
That wasn't very hard at all. Speak for yourself.
Well, boys, how does it feel? We're not just on top of the pecking order, we are the pecking order now.
I hope this was all worth it. But lucky for us, you have forever to get over it.
Time mends a lot of things. You'll get better.
Hear, hear, to our vanquished foe.
Welcome back, everyone. It's great to see you all again. Now we just have to figure out what to do with ourselves. Yeah, we can do that.
Ok. A new and unending dawn. Slay the princess. Perfetto. Era una cosa adesso. Quanti ci pensiamo? 54 su 97. Ok. Un po' di nascosti, cos'è che mi manca? Ah, bring the damsel, perché io ho portato il deconstructed damsel, mi sa. La witch. Ok, free prisoner, ok. Giusto. Bring the thorn. Ma the thorn non l'ho mai visto però. Fierce vessel, bring the adversary. Qua ci sono un po' di cose che bisogna un po' capire come sbloccarli alcune achievement. Allora, vediamo un po' cosa si può fare.
Good. The blade. Rescue her? What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity? Don't you see how dainty her hand? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just... If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she? Because we've yet to present her. I'm not sure I follow. Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature? Or would you rather believe the devil on your shoulder who tells... I think I'd rather believe in facts. Ah, so you're one of those empiricists. One of us has to be. Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator? No, I can't let you. You're what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain.
Okay.
That sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers. We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you will ever know. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hand. Lock clicks, And the door creaks open. Are you kidding me? I told you our love was insurmountable. You and the princess make your way upstairs, and the blade. That's right, there's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and... You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door, and then you step outside.
Ok.
A happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
Where did everything go? Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too...
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a...
E invece no.
She's gone. I'm begging. Good.
Oh. Thank you. There's no getting through to you right now.
A betrayal of will is still a betrayal.
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity, but you have a weapon. You rage. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her. You collapse to the... If we're lucky, it can't just... As much as I'd prefer, everything goes dark.
Volevo fare il damsel perché c'era anche l'altra roba della greva, però andiamo alla witch, non c'è problema.
But you are? I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized you.
She must have you confused. Very pragmatic. That.
Abandoning me, are you? Fine then. Run. You might be able to escape me, but you can't escape from what you are and what you've done. If I don't take you...
You turn to leave, but as you do, there's a deep, guttural groan, seemingly uttered by the walls themselves. The cabin starts to get smaller. What the hell is going on? We're getting out of here and saving our skins. That's what's going on. As the roots that make up the walls of the cramped basement attempt to close in around you, instinct kicks in, and you bolt up. The steps are uneven and lively, creaking as they expand out of the dirt floor, the stairway growing smaller and smaller as you dart up towards the light. You manage. The cabin is smaller than it was before, and it's getting... That's fine! We'll just leave. I'm sure you'd like to do that. But unfortunately, there is no longer a front door. The roots have already closed over the only possible exit. What shit? As your mind races for an answer, you hear the
Do you hear that, you loathsome thing? Those are the roots of the vial, and they're coming to choke the As long as you suffer while you die, I'll gladly suffer.
This doesn't help anyone. I can't believe she... See? This is exactly why you were tasked to slay her, and the roots grow ever. We know. We can see...
But we are animals. We are. You're nothing but fear and instinct, and that's all I am. We're just meant to chase each other in the dark until one of us catches the other.
Ok.
You feel something against your back. A thick root pushing its way into the cabin. Shit.
Too late. We're both going to die. We're both going to die a splintery and miserable death. And you're going...
You slump to the floor as the roots continue. We're never gonna make something of ourselves with. At least she isn't gonna make something of herself either. At first it's almost gentle, your body being lifted delicately off the ground as the floor shifts beneath you. As if the sound of creaking wood is drowned.
The suffering is what you deserve, you hideous creature. Know as you die that you
Okay.
are hated. I hate you.
The pressure is unfathomable. You can't breathe. Your vision, and then you
A
pop.
posto. The Wild.
There's no reason to keep secrets. We tried leaving her in the basement, but she made the cabin come to life, and it crushed both of us into a fire. And for what it's worth, I'm with him.
It was.
I'm not watching you, I'm trying. That's not an answer to our question.
I don't know what he is. I only know that he is something other, and that he wishes.
I do want that, but only because it's in your best interests. It's in everyone's best interests. You won't be able to slay her unless you remove yourself from her.
He wants us to kill each other.
I don't. I want you to kill her. Don't be charmed by her faux solidarity. You're not in this together. She's the only one who poses a threat to the world, and she's trying to make you go along with it. You don't have to enable her, especially when you have what it takes to stop her. Can't bury that feeling. You can't hide from your past.
The past doesn't have to exist. Our freedom is within us. We just have to find it.
Embrace your transformation. Perfect.
You fall inward into a network of connections too vast for your mind to occupy. Are you a path in the woods?
We can change to fill them together.
We don't need to be everywhere at once, just in the right place at the right time. You'd do best to remember that some wounds will never heal. Some rifts can never be mended. Even in rebirth, some things never come back the same. What is he going on about? What does he know about us? You aren't whole. You'll never be whole again. This struggle is meaningless.
Okay.
Whatever you think you're doing, you will fall apart.
We don't need to be made whole. All we need to do is...
You stretch and search and stretch and search, growing as you decay and decaying as you grow, as you strain beyond your limits. This place will fall apart before you find its end. This task, whatever it is you think you're doing, is impossible. He wouldn't be trying to discourage us if that were true. That's right, I know a loser when I see one. Cool.
I can hold us together for a little while.
You won't find anything. If I have to starve you, if I have to sacrifice my world to keep the princess at bay, I'll do it. Don't move an inch. Don't grow another blade of grass or harvest the remains of another dying creature. So I think it's too late for that, mate.
I'm at your side.
Andiamo, cosa succede?
No, stop! We found it. I knew it. I knew there was something he was keeping from us. Is that really all? Job well done, team.
just like I'd planned.
Is this what he kept from us? Is this why he made us kill each other?
It's beautiful.
Where did it go? Why is everything so cold?
She's cool.
Ok.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of... I will long for your return.
Bring the network wild to her. Ok.
Good. Thank you.
Why don't you come
Your aunt. You close the door behind you. Almost magically, its locks immediately.
Ok, The Beast, perfetto.
You lunge to the side, picking a direction on instinct. As you land, you're buffeted by a gust of air, disturbed by the sudden motion of a massive body. The princess. In an instant, she's pounced on the spot where you would have been, her chains rattling across the floor behind her. Before you can blink, she's gone, vanishing once more into the shadows. But you still feel her gaze on you.
You're faster than you were before, but you're still meek, reactive, prey.
You whirl around to find her, and your gaze meets hers, a pair of shining eyes peering out at you from just beyond the basement stairs. So she's cut off our escape. Shit. What do we do?
If you want to see me, you should get better at seeing.
She knows that her strength lies in shadows and secrets. She won't reveal herself unless she has to.
And you bear your weakness to the world.
She's coiling for another strike. Be somewhere else. We're on the back foot. The back foot keeps us nimble, keeps us alive. It doesn't matter if it keeps us alive if it eventually kills us. We need to take...
This path is already worn by travel and has been seen by one of my many eyes.
Wait, what? She's coiling for another strike. Be somewhere else. We're on the back foot. The back foot. It doesn't matter if it keeps... Jungle, barely moving out of the way before the princess surges past you with a speed that makes her practically unseen. You have to. We at least have to make an opening.
I want to swallow you whole, and I will get what I want. You have no...
Don't ask her what she wants, just slay her. Is that all the advice you have? We don't even know what she looks like. She's just a princess. Don't overthink it. She's clearly not. A tickling sensation rises at the base of your neck. Flee. We can't keep doing this. You're a slow, or maybe she's a little faster. You avoid her slavering jaws, but she manages to graze you. Her titanic momentum, it's like being sideswiped by sandpaper. How is she that fast?
You're bleeding now.
You instinctively touch your side, testing her claim.
It's wet and stings from the gentle touch of your fingertips. A costly mistake. We can't make it again. We will make it again unless something changes. We have to break the pattern. We need more time. She's cutting off.
Our game is nearing its end. You cannot reason your way out of this, fledgling.
At least she's upfront about her intention. She's more tense this time. She means this next blow to be the last. The mere thought of moving again makes your bloodied side ache. We're exhausted. We're still alive. We owe it to ourselves to move. Once again, you narrowly avoid the full force of the impact, and once again you are too slow to come away unscathed. This isn't working. We have to do something. We have to figure out. Don't plan ahead. Act on the now. All that matters is that we stay alive. We're trying, but we can't keep this up much longer. We have to. We keep up or we die.
You're getting slow.
Okay.
She seizes the opportunity, lunging once again from the darkness, fangs bared and claws flashing. She attacks. Oh, it's hard to think, but we have to think. We have to move. It's too late. Before you get the chance to react, it's over. She makes her last foray from the dark corners of the room. You do your best to dive out of the way, and you... partially? Yes. The princess fails to swallow you whole. That's just as bad. That's worse, even. It's death either way. At least this will be a faster end. You look down to see that the dirt between you is strewn with your intestines, trailing all the way up and disappearing behind her blood-stained teeth. Your legs are nowhere to be seen. The princess, bloody saliva dripping from her lips, idly gnaws on what's left of you.
I didn't mean to do that. I still need to devour you. And it doesn't count if you're dead.
We're not dead, But you don't have time to protest her premature observation of your death. Because everything goes dark.
Then.
You're on a path in the That didn't work. We're going in with a plan this time. We're not getting stuck in another loop, just acting on it. Instinct was keeping us until it wasn't. So what are we supposed to do? Great, so you've been here before. That doesn't bode well. So you know more than you're letting on. Yeah, what he said. Of course I do, but believe me, it's in your best interests. The more you know about the princess, the more difficult your task will be. And why is that? Having me explain why would defeat the whole purpose. There are simply some things I'm not allowed to tell you. And whose rule is it? Who's telling you to boss us around? We've died twice already, and if you want us to stay alive this time, it's in your best interests to give us an edge. It's my rule, and this conversation is over. You make your way down to the cabin. So, we've been over the plan. Goat her out of the shadow. And what if she doesn't want to be seen? We'll figure out a way to make it happen. And if that doesn't make her any easier to fight, it will. It's always easier to fight what you can see, no matter how. She spent as much time as she could in the shadows. But she's fast. We're clever too. So this time we're not going to let her cut off our escape. We're going to lead her to the stairs ourselves. It'll be a lot easier to deal with her once we can actually see what she is. But you already know what she is. Yeah, right. A princess we couldn't see, and one that had big, sharp teeth too. How about you stick to this sharp teeth? The interior is dark and overgrown. Vines and brush obscure so much of the place that, had you not seen the exterior, you might not have noticed this was a cabin at all. The only furniture of note, if you could call it that, is a knotted stump, a pristine blade embedded in its exposed rings. The blade is your... If there's a way forward, that mirror... What are you talking about? There is no mirror. It's just the stump and He isn't tricking us. Can you feel the wind? Then either way, we need to investigate. Yes, take the steel claw. You pull the blade from the stump, gripping it tight. It would be... Odds are we'll need it. Thanks for not putting us in a bad... You step forward, approaching the small hole that leads to the basement. Haven't you been paying attention? We're not hesitating. That mirror isn't part of this place. It's seeped through from it
if there even is an it, is a hallucination. Like you said, you've been here twice before. Your mind was bound to start playing tricks. So grimy. Maybe reach forward and wave your hand over the open hole. See? Nothing. Tricks of the eye. No one sense.
Okay.
You step forward into the darkness. If there were once stairs leading into the basement, there is nothing left to attest to their existence now. It smells of mold and decay. As you crawl forward on hands and knees, you're met only with the sounds of ambient earth. No voice slinks confident. Stay quiet. Don't give her a sound. You say nothing, maintaining the silence as you carefully make your way down into the basement. The basement is dark and cavernous, a gaping maw threatening to swallow you whole. There is no light here, save for what little starlight has managed to filter down the tunnel. And though you can't see the vastness of the space, you can feel it. You're exposed. Stay on your toes. We take a step into the shadows, and as soon as she moves, we jump back, make her follow. From there, we trap her in the tunnel, draw her out of the cabin, whatever it takes to get her out of her element. Then we're safe. You step into the shadows and are enveloped in total darkness. Your heart pounds in your chest, ears pricked, eyes That's right. Keep steady. Don't let your nerves get the better of you. There, she's about to strike. With the near silence of a determined predator, the princess erupts from the shadows. That's stage one. Now stay focused. You dive into the tunnel and begin scrambling up towards the cabin. You hear her behind you, claws raking at the dirt, chains rattling, breaths hot and heavy with the effort of the ascent. But the sounds are coming slower now, the breaths pained and stuttering. You no longer sense frantic motion behind you in the tunnel. You risk a glance. She is a broad and sickly creature, her withered and emaciated flesh clinging to bones too large to fit in the narrow space. She managed to squirm her way into the tunnel in pursuit, but now she's stuck. So that's what she's become. She wasn't like this when we started. Was she? No, she wasn't. Looking at her makes me feel sad. Yeah. Now that we can see her, she doesn't feel like much of a threat at all. Her eyes look up at yours, wide, pleading. Come back, you can imagine them saying. Don't leave me here. But you shouldn't listen to the sad eyes of a vanquished enemy. She wants... If you want us to ignore her, then why would you tell us any of that wide, pleasing eyes begging for mercy business to begin with? I'm merely describing things as they are. It's not my fault that her eyes had something to say, even if that something was a ploy, which, if I might stress, what should we do about her anyway? Can she still end the world like this? She hurts. We did bring the blade. Maybe we should... Splendid idea. You have a job to finish. Or maybe we should try and talk to her. That's a terrible idea. Your first... You cautiously make your way closer to the princess, her eyes avoiding yours with the silent resignation of a defeated predator.
A posto.
She's gone.
E con lo Slayer sarebbe stata la stessa cosa?
I am the I will be...
Gli ho portato Deden, perfetto. Salviamo qua. E il menu per stasera direi che può andare così. Può andare bene così. Signori, grazie mille per la compagnia. Vi avviso già che domani sera non sarò in live perché sarò fuori a cena. Ci rivedremo dunque giovedì sera, ovviamente sempre alle ore 21 e andremo un po' avanti con Slade Prince. Cercheremo un po' di fare altri finali, altre personalità da dare in pasto alla tipa lì con tutte le mani e via. Vediamo un po' di cercare di avvicinarci al completare un po' tutto 100%. Con anche cercando un po' cosa devo fare per i vari achievement, no? Magari qualcuno lo cerco se è un po' troppo criptico da trovare, ma poi vediamo. Quindi signori, grazie a tutti per la compagnia, vi auguro una buona notte e vi do appuntamento a giovedì sera alle ore 21. Carissimi, alla prossima. Ciao ciao!